I, 63 female, and my husband, 67, had a situation with my son last year. During the global issue, his girlfriend got pregnant. He moved her in with his roommates, who weren't happy. The roommates left and they re-signed with the landlord for themselves, but his girlfriend couldn't or wouldn't find a job and he lost his job a few months later and couldn't pay rent. They stayed for 7 months and then got evicted. Now they have an eviction on their record and terrible credit because they live off of credit cards, so they have thousands in credit card debt. I didn't want them moving in. My son, 38, lived at home until he was 31, so we had a lot of trouble getting him to move out. But his girlfriend was giving birth soon, so we took them in. They stayed for almost a year, and the deal was that they both get jobs, help pay utilities, pay off their credit cards, and find a place to live. They were only supposed to stay for 6 months, but wouldn't move out when we asked at the end of 6 months. They said no one would rent to them because of the eviction on their record. They also didn't make enough to pay utilities, so my husband and I paid more in utilities, and they ate for free since they would take from the fridge and wouldn't buy any groceries themselves. We offered to help them with baby expenses, diapers, car seats, etc. at first, but it's been almost a year and we're still paying for it. They were doing DoorDash but only worked 3 or 4 hours a day. I kept trying to get my son a full-time job, but he got angry and accused me of nagging him. His girlfriend is also very messy and doesn't clean up after herself. I've changed more diapers and fed her son more than she has, and it's infuriating because they chose to have a child but won't take responsibility. My husband and I have been retired for 2 years now, and we had planned to move to Chile, where I'm from. We were supposed to sell the house last year and didn't just let them stay, but it's been over a year and we were sick of it. We kept telling them they had to move out and they just ignored us, so we put our house up for sale. We wanted to renovate it first, but they wouldn't let us into their bathroom and room, so we decided to sell it as is. We got a fair offer and closed in a weekend and told them they had 2 months to move. My son yelled at us for kicking them out and not caring about him and shattered our decorative vase. They finally moved out and we are between places and will be going to Chile next month. But my son and his new girlfriend have nowhere to live. They're staying with a friend now, but they're only letting them stay until the end of the month and then they will have to figure it out. My son yells at me over the phone and tells me I'm never allowed to see my grandson again for kicking us out. I don't know where I went wrong that he couldn't be an adult, get a job, and move out without being forced. Not the idiot. He's 38. You were way more patient than you should have been. I never understood why kids felt that blackmailing and threatening their parents with a grandchild visitation was a real threat. Aren't the parents the ones that benefit the most from free babysitting? Enjoy your retirement in Chile. Oh my god, son played them like a fiddle. The final "you won't see your grandson," well, they are moving to Chile, so how much would they be seeing him anyway? It's bad there's an innocent kid in the equation, but you can't help people who won't even make an attempt. That said, maybe OP should be looking into making a trust fund for the kid that his parents can't touch. There's no point in leaving any inheritance to the son. He'd go through it in a week and then pout to their graves that they didn't help him enough. I'm pretty sure that son and his girlfriend thought that you were going to take care of them until you passed away and they inherited your house. I like your style. Sold that house from right underneath them. Now they can figure it out. Maybe this will be the wake-up call he needs. He might finally be forced to stand on his own with no home to return to and with you in a foreign country. If you'd let them stay, which was clearly their plan, you would have been an idiot to yourself. You may have gone wrong nowhere at all. Some amazing kids come from awful parents, and sometimes, though rarer, amazing parents raise idiot birds. I do worry for the kid, and I think you should call CPS. This baby is a baby, and there's a decent chance of adoption since the two of them can't get it together. If I were you, I'd try to come to peace with never seeing your grandchild because, even if they keep the kid, they will always use that child as a pawn to get money and housing, and any time you say no, they will threaten and remove the child. Your son is nearly 40. I'm so sorry because I know you're embarrassed. Whether you did a good job or a bad job, your job here is done. I am a female 42 and have 3 children, male 25, female 18 and female teen. This situation concerns my son and his wife. About 5 years ago, my husband of 17 years, together for 26, passed away. It was very heartbreaking and hard for my children. For the past 4 years, my main focus has been on my children and working so I can support them. However, that's changed in the past 6 months because I've been seeing someone I met at a work event. I wasn't looking to rush anything, but he stayed by my side despite being rejected several times. Even though we're together, I clarified that I wasn't interested in getting married or families meeting anytime soon, which he agreed with. Anyways, yesterday my partner decided to take me out. He treated me to dinner and took me shopping at little boutiques, which was incredibly kind of him. While I was spending time with him, my daughter-in-law saw me without my knowledge, and it was evident that this man was my partner. When I came home, I saw my son and daughter-in-law in the living room waiting for me. They immediately confronted me and kept asking several questions about who my partner was. I was upfront and told them I'd been seeing him for the past 6 months, which resulted in a huge argument, with my son telling me that I was betraying his father. I yelled that I wouldn't spend the rest of my life alone because he didn't like the idea of me dating someone who wasn't his father. I then told them that what I do with my life is not their concern, as I'm an adult, and who I date or go out with isn't their concern. This caused them to leave and complain to my late husband's mother, who's never liked me and is now calling me very rude names. Am I the idiot? Not the idiot. If they don't like that you have a new partner, spend every evening and every weekend at your sons and daughter-in-laws so you won't be alone. Just get involved in their love life and return the favour. The intruding way. Ask how many date nights they have, who gets presents, how often, does she go to the hairdresser before, does he wear a suitable cologne, etc. See if they like getting scrutinised and controlled. Ask daughter-in-law's mother about her personal love life as well. They'll end up begging you to be with your partner. They need the same energy they're putting out. Also, OP fulfilled her marriage vows. Why is it not okay to seek a companion? If, God forbid, your daughter-in-law passed away, would your son stay single for the rest of his life? I doubt it. He can have feelings for you moving on, but those feelings are his to handle. You haven't done anything wrong. You can move on and be happy. Her husband has been gone for 5 years. It's a huge double standard, especially where children are involved. And for me, it stems from traditional, outdated family roles. Men are encouraged to find a new partner who will give their kids the motherly love they're missing out on. Women are expected to put all their focus on their children, and their spending time in the dating realm is seen as putting themselves before their children. My 38 male and my wife, 36, are living abroad with our daughters, toddler and kindergartner, for at least the next 2 years since I was transferred for work. My mother has visited us twice now, which is usually great because she helps the wife with the kids. The other night, my mother called us to say she'd be coming over again in July to be here for one of her granddaughter's birthdays. Later, my wife told me my mother should have talked to us before getting the plane tickets, to which I agreed. But anyway, the wife wouldn't drop the subject, almost as if she was expecting me to call my mother back to tell her not to come, or at the very least to warn us beforehand. My wife then asked me how I would feel if her parents showed up unannounced. I said this would never happen. She got really serious, as if she knew what I was implying. She asked me what did I mean by that, so I said it wouldn't happen because they can't afford it. Technically, it's the truth. Her father had to declare bankruptcy a year ago and her family never had too much money to spare. She said this was a messed up thing to say. Am I the idiot? You are the idiot. My mom can afford to come and yours can't. Nah. How childish and mean are you to bring that up when your wife misses her family? Of course your mom should check first to see if it's convenient to come. Did you ever ask your wife if she wants your mom there? Or is that too difficult for you? Dude, you're in a relationship with this woman. Like seriously, what the heck? Absolutely, it sounds like your wife doesn't think your mother's visits are as great as yours and that your mother's help isn't as helpful as you think. Also, why are you not helping with your own kids? Your wife is correct that she gets a say in who comes to the house and when, and you steamrolled over that while making a crappy comment about her family's situation. Ugh. I hope you're a better husband than you portray yourself to be here. He probably thinks his mother visiting is fine because he's working and not at home hosting his mother while also taking care of 2 small children. OP, you know that's not what your wife was asking, but instead you decided to answer like an idiot. If her parents did that, you know you wouldn't be happy, but for some reason you chose to be a jerk instead of giving your wife the answer she was looking for, which is also the truth. The truth you decided to focus on had no relevance to what she was asking. I'd recommend starting with an apology. Let's start with some context. I'm renting a room in a 4-bedroomed house. Life's difficult right now and this is the best I can afford. The other 3 rooms are occupied by people I didn't know before moving in, each paying their own rent, including a couple that sleeps in the larger room. Since the house is shared, we have free access to the shared spaces, like the kitchen and lounge, and we try to respect each other. One relevant thing is that the couple and the person in another room were already friends before moving in, so they spend much time together and do stuff for each other. All's good with me. I'm out most of the day working, and usually when I cook dinner for myself, I cook a bit extra to take to work the next day and save some money. For example, the other day I had some chicken breast cut into bits, seasoned with some lemon herbs and left to marinate. Fry that up with some veggies, add some noodles, and it's a pretty decent meal. On this particular occasion, my co-workers had planned a team lunch for the next day, so there was no point in me cooking that usual extra. Since the marinated chicken smelled pretty good, I thought it would taste even better the following day when I cooked it for dinner again. I got a bowl, placed it all there, covered it with cling film and left it in the refrigerator, where my refrigerator stuff usually is. We do this so everyone knows who owns what's in the refrigerator. Never thought about it again. The following day when I got home, a couple of people from the other rooms were kind of waiting for me in the lounge and just started screaming at me. So the girl from the couple I mentioned earlier is a sleepwalker, and that's never been a major issue until now, save from the occasional noise during the night, but nothing that could be considered annoying. You might see where this is going though. Last night she got up, still sleeping, walked to the kitchen, opened the refrigerator and helped herself to a spoonful of marinated chicken. She then went back to bed, where she eventually fell ill and had to be taken to the hospital. Now they're acting like it's my fault because since I know she's a sleepwalker, I should be more careful with stuff like this and not leave the uncooked chicken on the refrigerator like that. I never thought that would be a problem. As I said before, we have specific areas for each of us and we try to be mindful of what we leave there. The chicken was properly covered and it wouldn't be a problem in any other circumstance. I tried to argue this, but now they want me to apologise to her and help to pay for the hospital bill, which, to be honest, I really don't feel like I should. Plus, I'm down one meal as the rest of the chicken was just thrown out and I was really looking forward to that. Not the idiot. Oh wow, that didn't go as I expected. She needs help with her sleepwalking. It's completely normal to marinate raw chicken in the fridge, assuming you're following food safety, and it sounds like you were. However, it's not normal to eat it while sleepwalking. If she was sleepwalking, how does anyone know she had a spoonful and wrapped it back up? Are you supposed to cook all raw meat immediately upon purchasing it, since you don't know how picky sleepwalkers will be when they raid the fridge? This is all BS. She probably only went to the hospital because she was paranoid after realizing what she just ingested after she stole some. By this logic, no laundry detergent, dish soap, hand soap, cleaning sprays, etc. should be stored in the house. Who knows what she might eat? I would definitely expect them to reimburse you or replace your chicken breast, and they should be talking to her sleep doctor about addressing issues caused by sleepwalking. If, as I suspect, that's a BS excuse, she messed around and found out. Diddums. Last year in November, my old car broke down. I'd had it for years, but eventually the engine went and I desperately needed a new one. I found a car I liked for £5,000, but I only had £3,000 saved up at the time. My boyfriend, who I've been in a long-term relationship with, offered to pay the remaining £2,000. It was a week before my birthday and Christmas was also coming up, so he said he'd pay £1,000 towards the car for my birthday and Christmas, and I'd pay him back £1,000 over a few months. He said there was no rush for me to pay him back, considering we live together and basically share money anyway, but that was the agreement. I bought the car and everything was fine. I paid him back £500 over a few months, but then we discovered I was pregnant with our first baby. He told me not to worry about paying back the remaining £500 for my car and to make a savings account for our baby with the money we would use to buy things for our baby. So I set up a savings account, and every month my boyfriend and I have been adding little by little to afford things like nursery furniture, clothes, diapers, etc. I'm now 23 weeks pregnant with our baby girl. About a month ago, however, my car was rear-ended while I was driving. The car was totaled and my insurance company said they would pay me the full value of the car plus compensation. They agreed to pay the £5,000 I purchased it for with another £2,000 for injuries, etc. Last night I received this payment and my boyfriend started talking about what he would do with his half of the money. I said pretty much all of that money will be going towards our daughter. He argued that since he bought half of the car, he should receive half of the payment. I said he didn't buy half of the car as half of his payment was a gift, and I paid him most of what I owed back until he wrote the loan off on the condition it went toward our baby. Therefore, that's where the payment should go. He said we should split the money 3 ways as this would be the fairest option. A third to him, a third towards the baby, and then a third for myself. I still argued no, as we would need the money for the baby. He told me he's sick of saving money constantly and he deserves some cash to spend on things he wants, since it's been almost 5 months since he's been able to do so. I said that's part of being an adult and having children. He's still arguing I'm an idiot because he bought half of my car, but I don't think I'm being an idiot here. Not the idiot, and yikes. This situation comes up here often. One person comes into money and the partner tries to convince them that all or part of it should be theirs. You fulfilled your duty with the car loan, you paid as agreed upon, and the rest was forgiven or a gift. He can't go back and undo that original agreement now that there's potentially money in it, which actually there isn't anyway. But it's all our money, right? Do your partner's actions usually contradict their words, or just when they're talking you out of your money? At most, you owe him £500, and even that he specifically said you could write off. Also, £2,000 is from an injury you sustained, so why does he think he's entitled to that? I have no idea. Presumably, you'll need a new car too. You're having a child with the child. Being a parent obviously means budgeting and saving. That money isn't his, and even if he was entitled to a portion of it, the smart thing to do would be to save it. He needs to grow up.